imagine the audience in their underwear. Because no, that's terrifying. Not only are you now afraid to be on stage, but you're in a room full of random naked people. Way scarier. Hey friends, what is up? My name is Katherine and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to discuss how to get over stage fright. Now, personally to me, I feel like stage fright versus audition anxiety are two very different things, and I deal with them pretty differently. Also, today's video is brought to you in part by Backstage, an awesome way to find your next audition. So thank you to Backstage for sponsoring today's video. Question of the day, how do you deal with stage fright? Do you have any tips, any tricks, any proven methods? Let us know how you deal with it in the comments down below. So like I mentioned, I feel like audition anxiety and stage fright are two very different things. When I'm nervous for an audition, I'm afraid that I'm going to crack or forget my lyrics or mess up my monologue. When it comes to stage fright, the set of fears are completely different, so I think the way to overcome it is completely different. So I've personally spent a lot of time kind of diagnosing where my stage fright comes from. What exactly am I frightened of? And I realized after some time it's very rarely that I'm afraid of the people in the audience. I'm afraid that I'm not going to do what I set out to do with the show. That I'm not going to have the arc that I want in my song, or that I'm not going to connect with the audience, or that I'm not going to tell the story that I want to. Simply because your nerves take over. It's very fight or flight. Additionally, my other really big fear is flat out forgetting something. Forgetting a prop, forgetting an entrance, forgetting a costume change, forgetting a line, missing a cue. Those terrify me! So here's how I overcome my stage fright. I rehearse a lot. Like a lot. And on my own. Yes, I definitely leave room for artistic interpretation in the moment and let the story breathe within that particular performance, but I also follow the moments and the kind of roadmap that I've created during the rehearsal process. By sticking to that game plan and knowing it backwards and forwards, the fear just kind of dissipates because I know that I'm prepared. I'm not going to forget what I set out here to do because it's so internalized in my body. A great tip if you're terrified of forgetting things, make yourself a cheat sheet. And my cheat sheet can look like a multitude of things, depending on what the show is and what those particular needs are for that performance. Sometimes I have cheat sheets about my character, like what my objectives are and who I am at my core values. Another great cheat sheet that I love doing is a costume plot. Basically, I'll write out where the costume change takes place, if it's like in the wings or in the dressing room, what song I'm changing during, when I need to be ready by, what costume pieces I'm putting on, what props I need for the following scene. Basically, it's just like an Excel spreadsheet of the logistical stuff that I need for the next scene. I have a whole video on my second channel on actually how I do my costume plot, so if you have any questions about that, check it out. I'll link it down below. Another big thing that's changed the game for me in terms of stage fright is how I prepare prior to the performance. Did I just say like a lot of P words in a row? Because it definitely sounded like I did. I know that having a big dance party karaoke session in the dressing room right before the show is so much fun, but I also know that it destroys my voice. It tires me out so quickly. Even if I'm just trying to talk to the people in the dressing room, it's so crazy loud in there that I end up blowing out my voice before the show even begins. Usually what I do now is that I'll come in, say hi to everybody, check in with my scene partners, check in with stage management, say hi, and then put in my headphones. I'll usually either listen to music or a podcast right up until maybe 10 minutes before I go on. Then for those last 10 minutes, I spend time getting into character. Here's a weird tip. Know how different food reacts with you. For instance, I've been a daily coffee drinker for the last decade. I know my caffeine limits, and I have a very fine line between being slightly overly caffeinated and being straight up jittery and anxious. There are some shows that I can totally use the caffeine boost and others where I can't. Know that it's okay to be afraid. Whenever I try really hard to push out the fear of stage fright, it kind of pushes back at me really hard. When I just kind of embrace it and I thank my brain for letting me know that I'm a little nervous, that's when I'm actually able to calm down and not focus on how scared I am. Make peace with the fear and try to turn that fear into nervous, excited energy. Being able to harness those nerves can actually feel really cool and powerful. I know that when you're really scared, your brain tends to think of all of the ways things could go wrong. Think about what could go right. Tell yourself that you're going to have so much fun on that stage, that you're going to tell the story, that you're gonna make memories. Don't worry about trying to hit every note perfectly or having the highest kicks, because you don't always have control over that. Focus on what you can control and doing your best at it. Also note that every feeling is fleeting, the good and the bad. If you feel absolutely terrible and you feel like you bombed that last scene, just know that you're not gonna feel that way in 10 minutes or in an hour or a day or 10 days, just right now. I know that in the moment you can kind of tend to beat yourself up about that sort of thing, but it's just not worth it. Focus on the story, focus at the job at hand. Enjoy that moment, live in that moment, because pretty soon this moment's gonna be gone. There will always be another show, and you can find that new show on Backstage. Am I Julian Solomita now? Backstage is your online resource to find auditions near you from across the industry. I'm talking plays, musicals, short films, feature films, background work, music videos, and more. My favorite feature is the audition filter. You can get so super specific, so you only see auditions that are relevant to you. Your location, union status, gender identity, and more can be taken into consideration when finding the perfect project for you. Personally, I've been using Backstage for years, both as an auditioner and a casting director. I've always had a great experience with Backstage. It's super easy to use, and I always end up finding tons of great projects. You can get your first month of Backstage for only $5 when you sign up using my link down below. If I can give you one major takeaway on this video, it would be to try your best. Just focus on that. Don't aim to be perfect. Just aim to be you right now in this moment, doing the best you can, because that's all you can ever really control. Be prepared, put in the time, do the work, show up ready to do your best, and then do it. I hope this video helped you guys out. These tips have definitely changed my life in terms of how I view stage fright and how I deal with it. Let me know how you deal with stage fright in the comments down below. Please share your wisdom. Let's eradicate stage fright once and for all. Again, huge thank you to Backstage for supporting the channel. Be sure to check out Backstage for your next audition. I hope you guys are having a great day. I love you so, so much. Break a leg, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!